Hello subscribers, this is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with my next comic book haul. Before I get into this haul, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for liking, sharing, and commenting. Please continue to do the same. Continue to do so. And tap the notification bell so you can get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Well, these are a set of late books. These books are late, as unfortunately most of my comic books are. Nonetheless, I'm more than happy to share them with you. And of course, I don't have every single book that comes out every comic book weekend because there are only certain books that I like to collect, and that's from each comic book retailer or a comic book company. The big two, of course, which are DC and Marvel, and then, of course, the independent comic books as well. I have a mixture of all of those in this particular haul. And I just want to say that, hey, happy Comic Book Wednesday to you guys. I hope that you are reading comic books. If you don't, get into reading them. I think that there is still a very exciting art and venue to venture into, and not just reading comic books because of the comic book movies, whether they're hits or failures. So, all right, enough of my chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and get into this haul to show you what books that I do have. And we're starting off, of course, with DC Comics. And I want to show you, too, really quick, this ring that I picked up from the local comic book shop. Dig that, man. That's a Green Lantern ring, power ring, which came with the Green Lantern comic book. I don't have Green Lantern comic book in this haul, but we do have Green Arrow in this haul. And this is issue number 3 of Green Lantern. And it looks like we have the what's his name, Peacemaker, on the cover there, and some other characters. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of DC Comics books in this haul, as I just said. We do have the DC Connect though, Night Terrors, which is a free preview of any and all DC comic books that are coming out. And this series started this month. Night Terrors, a lot of fans are complaining that it's an interruption in their regular DC comic book reads. But I've heard some compliments of some of the Night Terror books, that they're actually pretty good. I don't have the actual books in this haul, but I did want to show the DC Connect preview, which leads into the Night Terror stories. And I think they're only going to last for 2 months, and then they'll get back to their regular scheduled programs. Their books written by various writers, including Joshua Williamson. There's the main storyline, and then there are the spin-off stories. And I'm not really interested in getting the spin-offs. I'm just going to get the main stories from this series. Hopefully I'll have them within my next comic book haul. All right, now we get into Marvel Comics. Headlining the Marvel comic haul is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 28, and of course we know who that guy is. Dr. Octopus, also known as Doc Ock, and it looks like Mysterio right there, but I might be wrong. And then, of course, Spider-Man in the clutches of this fiend. Okay, this is written by Zeb Wells with McGinnis, Farmer, and Miniz, contributing as both artists, pencilers, and colorists to this book. I do dig that cover, though. That is pretty cool. And then we get into issue number 2 of Daredevil and Echo. I did read issue number 1. It was pretty good. And of course, this book was supposed to be a headliner for the TV series, as I've mentioned before. That was supposed to be out this year, and then they pushed it out to next year. This is about Taboo, from the group, the former group Black Eyed Peas, B. Earl, and Phil Noto as artists on this book. Phil Noto. I don't know. I seen something really quick on the internet. I think it was on YouTube, where someone said that Kevin Feige actually screened the TV series and said that I won't say the word that they're saying that he used, but it was basically crap. So I don't know if they're going to proceed with the project or not, and I don't even know if that's really true because it came from a third-hand source, so to speak, saying that Kevin Feige didn't like what he's seen with the TV show. So I thought the character was all right. She was introduced, of course, in the in the Disney, not DC, in the Disney Plus Marvel TV show Hawkeye. I enjoyed Hawkeye. I thought the show was really good. I enjoyed it, and I thought that her character was pretty good. But I don't see the reason of her having her own TV show, even now. And I'm a Marvel man all the way. I'm a Marvel man when it comes to comic books. I'm a Marvel man when it comes to the MCU. I'm very much enjoying Secret Invasion a lot. It's really good. We're on episode 3 now. There are 3 more episodes to go. But but in any case, I separate comic books from cinema. Although sometimes one leads into the other in terms of its popularity and fame. So, and it's in terms of sales. Either the movie can promote the sales of the comic book, or the comic book can promote the sales of the movie, but it's usually the latter. So anyway, so we have Daredevil and Echo number 2. All right. Next we get into Thor issue number 35. And although this series has not, to me, been as exciting and exhilarating as it could be or was when Donny Cates was writing for it, but I love that cover. It almost reminds me of a Todd McFarlane Spawn cover, the way it's drawn. I absolutely love the artwork done here. That is really very cool. And of course, we have Hela here on the cover. And she's riding what looks like to be a dead horse or some kind of creature. All right. Very cool. Anyway, let's move on. And we have issue number 1 of this new exciting series of the X-Men. They've had so many story arcs in the X-Men. There are so many X-Men books that are out, as I've said time and time again, and I'm sure a lot of fans would agree. I think this is by Al Ewing, with Pizzari, Landini, and Pimentel and De La Cruz contributing. This is before the fall, the heralds of Apocalypse. All right, and there's a man there, Apocalypse, and there are his heralds there. That almost looks like Jonathan Majors' character, Kang, one of the versions of King the Conqueror, right there. But I know it's not. All right. Anyway, moving on. Issue number 14 of She-Hulk. I've been loving all the covers of the She-Hulk series. I think that they're very, very well written. She still remains one of my favorite characters. And yes, I did enjoy the show. I did not, and I think I said before, enjoy the last episode as much. But for the most part, yes, I enjoy the show. And I still say we need a little comedy from time to time. I think sometimes Marvel can overdo it in some of their TV shows and movies with the comedy. It definitely was overdone in Thor, the last Thor movie. I'm still cool with the Thor movie, but that's one of the things I love about the new show Secret Wars. So far, there's no comedy in it. It's very serious. It's not overdone. There are little jokes, but not overtaking the show. And it's not meant to really be a comedy. Not at all. It's dealing with spies, espionage, treachery, traitors, and secret, big-time secrets that are going on that have been revealed in the show. And as I've said before, the subplot of this story, the subplot, or let me backtrack here. The whole Secret Invasion thing is a subplot to the MCU. The big plot, of course, is the Kang Dynasty. So, and of course, the character She-Hulk in the MCU will be playing a part of that. All right. Okay. Anyway, so She-Hulk issue number 14, and then we have Silk. The lovely Cindy Moon, Silk, and I love that character there. I'm assuming that cover there. That's a very, very cool cover. As it harkens to kind of a Western type era or Western type representation. See, she has her Spider Woman cowboy hat on. Hero or Outlaw, issue number 2 of Silk. It says filmed in Spider Vision there. It's by Emily Kim, I.G. Guadara, Ian Herring, and Irana Maher production. So they're making it like almost like a movie poster. I get it. Okay. Very cool there. Love that. Okay, let's move on. And we have Storm issue number 2. As I said, so many X-Men books, so many spin-off X-Men books, side issues. It just goes on and on with X-Men. I thought they were going to stop that after the Jonathan Hickman run with House of X Powers of 10, but nope. But hey, man, who can resist buying a Storm solo book? This is not her first solo series, though. Okay. All right. And we have Carnage Reign. It all ends here. This is Carnage Reign Omega. So the end of this storyline, Carnage Reigns, by Ziegler, Ota, Antonio, and Arcinigia, contributing to this book. All right. Then we have Ghost Rider issue number 15 by Benjamin Percy. Yeah, and another cool cover. This cover is okay. It's not as to me as cool as the other Ghost Rider covers that I've shown in previous hauls, but it'll do. Okay. Then we have Captain America Symbol of Truth issue number 14. I just did a Captain America comic book haul last week for July the 4th, or the 4th of July, where I featured the Captain America Symbol of Truth comic, as well as Sentinel of Liberty. The Symbol of Truth deals mainly with Sam Wilson version of Captain America, and then Sentinel of Liberty deals with Steve Rogers, of course. There's the new Falcon here, and then there's Sharon Carter, looks like the Black Panther, and Misty Knight. Misty Knight, to me, needs to have her own comic book series eventually. I hope that they will reintroduce her in comic books in a solo stories or even a mini-series, and possibly also reintroduce Luke Cage. As you know, in the television series, Misty Knight was featured in the TV series on Netflix when it was on, but of course, that show is now on Disney Plus, so you can check it out there. If you've never seen it before, highly recommend it. All right, so let's move on here. So next up, we get into Predator. Of course, was it Disney now owns 20th Century Fox, or they're calling it they don't even have the Fox in there anymore. They just have 20th Century Studios. But yes, they're owned by Disney. And of course, Marvel is producing the comic books in the series. I haven't read any of the books yet. This is written by Ed Brisson with Neto Diaz, Ballardino Bravo, and Eric Arciniega, who also was an artist on a book that I showed previously. Interesting cover there. Not one of my faves, but yeah. Predator issue number 4. Then Alien issue number 3. And this is a relaunch or restart of the series. That is a very cool cover there. Now, this series I have been reading, but I am kind of behind. This is by Declan Shelby, Andrea Brocardo, and Trioni Farrell, contributing to this book. I have enjoyed the Alien books. This is issue number 3. Again, the restart of the series. It was originally being written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. But I think what they're doing with the series is that in terms of the restarts, they're just showing different events that are happening in the Alien universe from different points of view, but yet there's an overall story arc that connects, if that makes sense. So yeah, and in any case, I'm really digging that cover. Most of the Alien covers, or pretty much all of them, I think have been very well done, very well drawn. And speaking of covers, we have Tales of Asunder here. I actually did a spotlight video based off of this series because I'm so very enthralled by the series. If you can check out that video, I posted it the other day. This is my cover of the month. This actually came out, I believe, in June, but I picked it up last weekend sometime. This is my cover of the month, Tales of Asunder, the continuation of the story of Niobe, what am I trying to say here? From the Stranger Comics line, and this is issue number 1. Okay, I won't delve too much into this because I did a video on it, but yeah, this makes my cover of the month. Beautiful cover here, just very well done and very well drawn. Next up, we get into issue number 5 of Blue Book, written by James Tynion IV, and I've given this story a lot of accolades. I've given it a lot of compliments in terms of how it's written, how it's drawn. I believe that this is the last issue of this series. This is issue number 5 from Dark Horse Comics. It's kind of like the X-Files meets Nope. And if you don't know what Nope is a movie that was written and directed by Jordan Peele. Cool movie, very good movie, but this reminds me of that. It deals with extraterrestrials and secret government files and these two characters right here. And their involvement in being abducted by aliens. But there's more to it than that. So, highly recommended for reading. Very, very good series. Okay. Then next we get into Exile. This is issue number 5 of Exile, written by Wesley Snipes. I think this is the last book of that series. So, yes, Mr. Wesley Snipes himself. And this is from... published by Whatnot Comics, issue number 5 of this series. And now that I have the entire series, I can sit back and read it. And as I've said time and time again, I'm backed up on my comic books, but I've taken a hiatus, so to speak, from YouTube, where I can get caught up with my reading, and this is one of the reads I will definitely get caught up on. And here's my homie here from IDW Comics. You know they've been having some problems recently, but they're still publishing the Godzilla comics. This is Godzilla Best of Rodan. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. This is kind of a pricey comic book though, $6.99 per issue. So yeah, issue number. Well, I think these are standalone comics for the Godzilla series. So it's not really a specific. Yeah, it says here one shot. And they're not in any chronological order. Anyway, this is Godzilla dealing with his ally, sometimes enemy, Rodan. Okay. And then I mentioned Todd McFarlane. We have Todd McFarlane Scorched, issue number 19. And that's an interesting cover there. Yeah, very nice. I love those browns. The brown color are kind of looks like what? I don't know. Ancient. This is the word I'm thinking of. So, all right. So anyway, one of the cheapest comic books around, $2.99 per issue. Thank you, Mr. McFarlane, for making your comic books affordable. As I just showed you, the IDW comic was $6.99, and most comic books, of course, are like $3.99 on up. All right, so we're back to DC Comics, from the Dawn of DC line, Green Arrow number 3. So that's it. That's all for my comic book haul. I hope that you've enjoyed this haul. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, comment as well. And tap the notification bell to get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Happy Comic Book Day. Happy Comic Book Wednesday. Read a comic book is good for the mind. Good for your thoughts. Good relaxation and imagination. All right. Thank you all for joining me. Peace, love, and hair grease.